The crypto market may be down, but don't worry, daily crypto traders. The only thing dropping faster than Bitcoin is the salty tears of all the moon boys out there. Are you ready to navigate the choppy waters of the crypto market? Well, guys, buckle up and join me on today's journey as we dive into the TA of Bitcoin, macroeconomic with our own Powell CPI report, which is coming out this Valentine, manipulation that is going on from Binance, liquidation heatmap where liquidation might occur, and we're going to look at the Bookmap where we can see huge amount of Bitcoin being shown as support, most likely for market makers trying to trick us. I'm your Captain Hassan, and it's time to set the sail for some real talk on the latest and greatest in the crypto world. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a wild ride. Welcome guys. Welcome to Daily Crypto Trading. Let's jump straight into it and look at my early TA on end of December, early January. I post this TA. I saw bullish divergence everywhere. I saw a bullish fair value gap right over here. And I saw also one here indicating a bullish reversal. I still don't believe the bottoms are in. Just to clarify it, I do believe we had a local bottom, not the true bottom. And without repeating myself, I mentioned we will go to the golden pocket area, test those levels and the daily chart. Then we'll move most likely to 1618 at the golden fib ratio, at 20,000, 21,000 at the supply zone, where we'll have some resistance. But then the fair value gap will be filled, and I had to wait to see some data. I even believe you could go to 2618, which is the 23,000. And lo and behold, 10 days later, we exactly hit our golden pocket area. We held back. We filled the fair value gap, first value gap. A few days later, we filled the second fair value gap, and we hit our supply zone, got rejected at 1618. Now I saw at the volume, and I saw that we still had a momentum for upside. So we still had a possibility to hit a second target, which was 2618. The third target will be more tricky because the probability was low. The probability was there. We could not outline it as analysts, but it was way too low. We could get these squeeze, which I of course wrote without repeating myself. Now I did write that we were in the golden cross. This was wrong. It is of course a death cross in the weekly, which Bitcoin has never been in. Even though the name is dramatic, it does not have to be dramatic movement, but a lot of traders notice this and they use it as a decline, as a signal for a shorting opportunity. So be aware of that. A week later, we did hit exactly my targets and almost hit the 23K level at the fib ratio 261, which is of course the golden fib ratio. Didn't hit it exactly yet, but I still believe we had momentum showing from the MEXC. But I was also seeing a lot of bearish signals. We had a big fair value gap right over here, which means if we fell below that, it will go quite fast. And we had our first fair value gap, which was bearish. We also had a falling volume while price action was going up. Again, a bearish signal. We have an ABC corrective wave with a leading diagonal. Again, a bearish signal. All right, so a lot of bearish signals flashing, and I did post that we might have some fast liquidity grab at 24, 25K, which I, without repeating myself, which I did write down. And again, 2 weeks later, bang, and we went down. This is a classic bear rally, and we went down and almost filled the fair value gap right over here. Again, it's not because I have a crystal ball, but I just analyze the market, and by that, we can make money, guys. It's all about protecting your capital and increasing your capital. And the TA have still not changed, guys. If we look at the TA, current TA right now, we can still see that the fair value gap is almost done and completed. There are some reversal ideas. We could get to 22 to 23K. That is a possibility to have some fast liquidity because we are seeing price action falling down, volume falling down. That usually means we could have some fast liquidity grab. However, price action is still looking very bearish. We still have this ABC corrective move. Usually moves to downside is a lot bigger with this leading triangle. Right now we are holding the demand zone, but below this demand zone, if you go below 20K, which is a big support area, if we fall below that, it will be quite fast. So we fall all the way down to around 17K, 18K, or all the way down to 15K. That is a possibility, guys. Have that in mind. I know a lot of people are very narrow-minded and they only see one way, either it's up or it's down. But as analyst, as an investor, you have to think both ways. And what the probability? So far, the probability is still for downside. We might have some liquidity grab, which can take some days. But in the end, the price action and the price is still saying we're going to the downside. By Monday, which is the 11th or 13th February, 2023, we will have a bearish death cross on the weekly for the first time ever for Bitcoin. That means we could have a fast liquidity grab at 24, 25K. This is still in the possibility of the realm of possibilities, still out there just to squeeze some shorts out, because a lot of shorts might believe that we are now going to the downside. So still a possibility, because if we hold this area, the 20K, as I said, we hold it, there's a possibility we can go to the upside still, guys. However, probability for a downside is still bigger than the upside. Again, if we manage to get some liquidity grab, it will be around 24, 25K before we go down again, because we still have this very bearish signal flashing. Let's jump into the liquidation heat map. And it's actually aligned with a TA also. If you look at the 24, 25 price level, we see a cluster of liquidation. That means a lot of people have their stop losses around this area. A lot of shorts might be squeezed out if we have some kind of people with big money, whales or market makers who want to have a fast liquidity or just stop these shorts out with high leverage. So this is also a possibility. Now, the probability is not that high, but the possibility is there. If we look at the lower level, we see clearly the liquidation is higher at the lower level because more longs than shorts are actually open. And where do people go? Where do market makers, where do institutions go? Where there's most liquidity, of course, where there's most money to be made. So the possibility for a decline to the downside is still higher. I still believe there's a possibility for fast liquidity grab at 23, 24, 25K. But in the end, we are still going lower. Let's dive into the Bookmap and break it down. What we are seeing right now, guys, again, aligned with the current TA, we are seeing strong support at 20 to 21K. Again, this huge amount of Bitcoin is not from retail. This is from entity, institution, or market makers, either to hold the support or to trick retail that this is a strong support. I do not know that for a fact, but this is, of course, possibility of a realm of possibilities. Now, if we look below, we see almost no Bitcoin. Now, there's still Bitcoin, there's still a good amount, but we call this a liquidity gap, which means they could drop quite fast. Again, aligning with a TA, if this fair value gap. You see a huge amount of Bitcoin at 12K, which have been there for 3 or 4 months. I've been covering this day out, day over, just to show you guys. And remember, this is a live limit map, right? Live limit orders where you're seeing it from Binance, and this is only from Binance. Somehow this is manipulative, guys, all right? We see some liquidity at 24, 25K. That's why I say we might see some fast liquidity grab before we go further down. I believe this is for market makers because the average Joe do not have 1,000 Bitcoin just laying around and know what to do. This is for market makers who can afford this, who are tricking people. I do believe the local bottom was in, but a true bottom is not in, so we will go further down. But again, guys, this will take time, and this might even be a true proper bottom forming. We cannot know that before we see more data, but I do not believe that from what I'm seeing. I see this as clearly manipulation. On the topic of manipulation, I posted this at the end of January in my Discord server and my Twitter. So if you're not following my Twitter page, go follow it. If you're not in my free Discord server, do yourself a favor and join the free Discord server. So what I did post was, what I saw was that Binance was manipulating the price action. The reason is, if you look at according to the last node, we saw that the stable coins were going up and price action was going up. This is not normal. Normally, stablecoin goes slowly down while price action goes up. That is because the money is converted into Bitcoin, so organic is going up. However, we saw stablecoin going up, like USDT and other stablecoin, while price action going up. There was only one stablecoin that was decreasing in supply, and that was BUSD. This indicating that they are buying Bitcoin. So this is not organic movement, right? They're buying huge amount of Bitcoin, and this is not the average Joe. There's a million of dollars with BUSD buying Bitcoin to push the price up, while Bitcoin is being sold in stablecoin, the other stablecoins. So we saw that other stablecoins was increasing while BUSD was decreasing, indicating there's clear manipulation going on. We could also clearly see that the BUSD volume was a lot higher than the USDT volume, again indicating a manipulation. But Powell said this time is different. How many times have you guys heard that if you've been here for some while? He prematurely called victory over inflation and called it disinflation, which is not correct at all, guys. Because we are seeing that wages are going up, more people, I said losing job, more people are getting job. And I will tell you why that is. That can affect the market. Not a bad thing if people get a job, but it can affect the market. Used car price increased 2.5% in a month. We have never seen that in 10 years, 15 years, I believe. And he called it a disinflation. That's not disinflationary at all. That is actually inflationary. So I have no idea why he's saying it. There were some good reporters who asked some questions, but he kept avoiding these kind of questions. Now, of course, if people get jobs, good for them. They get some money. But what happened when they get money? Demand increase. What happened when demand increase? Supply decrease. That means inflationary state. That means I believe we peaked inflation, but we still have this spike of inflation. And if we have this spike in inflation, that means the price, they will scare the investors and we will decline even further. All right, this is extremely important to understand. Even if you're a crypto guy, this have a lot of impact in the market. So if inflation is skyrocket, right? Inflation is high and the job market, the unemployment rate is sky high. The Fed cannot save the market. The Fed right now have the tools to save the market because if the the unemployment rate is low, inflation high, they can increase rate above the inflation, create proper disinflation, not to break the market. But if they choose to break the market, they can fix the market. However, if inflation goes, we have stagflation, and then we have a recession. All right, and even that can have something worse, a depression, which is a lot worse than a recession. They cannot save the market if the unemployment is way too high and the inflation is way too high. They can't print money to save us out. So prematurely saying we have now won over inflation is just wrong. So right now he knows that, and he's pickpocketing pretty much. He's saying if we see inflation going up again, we'll high rate. But the market is irrational. So they, of course, hear that, pause. They heard pivot. They heard all kinds of things. And the market rally. Again, we call this a sucker rally, a bear market rally. A lot of the bulls will be in, shock when reality hit them in the face. The reality is macro is looking very bad. All right. Now, recession is, of course, bad, but this can give us an insane amount of opportunity to buy cheap stocks or cheap Bitcoin for that sake. So keep an eye on the CPI report which comes up Tuesday. All right. Keep an eye on initial jobs claim, which it comes out Thursday. All right. This is important to know these kind of facts, guys. I know a lot of people dislike this information. They think it's boring and so on, but they have directly effect on your investment. They really do affect it. All right. A lot of people do not know about these fundamentals of macroeconomic and they just make fun of it. The reality hit them in the face and they lose money. But the reality is, if you want to earn money, you have to know about these kind of things. If inflation comes hotter than expected, I can guarantee you, almost guarantee you, the price of all stocks, of all crypto will go down. It's not hotter than expected. The most likely scenario will be a rally. But again, every time the DXY falls because of these rallies, the inflation increase. There's a matter of time before we see an increase in inflation again. And once the inflation increases, because we can clearly see on the oil price and crude prices, right? We can see it's going up. Again, inflationary. I can show you so many macro aspects of it and show you that, but a lot of people in my channel dislike this kind of information. They think it's boring, so I'm just pickpocketing what's most important right now. So keep an eye on these kind of things, guys. If we see inflation goes up again, which most likely it will, then a lot of these kind of stocks and cryptos will fall. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, consider to give this video a like, consider to subscribe to the channel, and of course, guys, as always, see you in the Discord server.